Welcome to Love and Marriage Broadcast with your host, Harold and Dalonika, on Life Choice Radio, designed to help you establish, strengthen, save, and restore your marriage. And oh yeah, find the road to it. Their passion for helping people worldwide find their way of success in relationships, rather single, married, or blended families, fuels them to share their wisdom they've gained over 20 years and counting. So you get ready to hear their approach to healing, restoration, hope, and encouragement. This is Love and Marriage. Now, here's your host, Harold and Dalonika McDonald.
Good evening, everyone. This is Harold and Dalonika McDonald with Love and Marriage. I am so excited to be here on tonight, sweetie. Are you?
You know I'm excited, right?
Okay.
We got a guest on.
Yes.
We're going to get into that. But really quick, hey, can you guys let us know where you're watching us from? Let us know if you're in Texas, Nebraska, New York, California. If you're out the country, let us know. Hey, if you catch us when we come off, we're going to be on a little bit longer tonight. But if you catch us when we go off, please put hashtag replay or I'm watching you after the recording live. We would love for you to share your own stories. You never know. We might reach out to you and ask you to come on as a guest for Love and Marriage with Harold and Dalonika.
So,
But hey,
also, mark your calendars. April the 5th, 2024 is our Love and Marriage Black Tie Affair. Hey, listen, this is going to be a really good event. We have some special guests that will be attending that event, and he's on with us live on tonight.
yes, yes. And you know what? He's not really a guest. Really, like he's really family that been on. He's been on with us a few times throughout the years. So some of you guys do remember our special guest, and then for some of you guys, it will be new.
Yeah. So, Love and Marriage Black Tie Affair with Harold and Dalonika McDonald on April 5th at 7:30 p.m. at the Rab House. It's gonna be fire.
Oh, I like how you said that.
It's gonna be fire.
That was nice. Hey, one of the reasons why we're doing this is so that we can help. Oh, I got to get on the mic, y'all. I like looking at him. Okay, but I'm gonna stay focused because we got a show to do tonight, so I'm gonna stay focused. Okay, so one of the reasons why we love what we're getting ready to do with the Black Tie Affair is so that we can help couples. This is a different way to help couples. We want to bring couples in. We want you guys to have a good time with Harold and I. We want you to, eat good food. We want you to listen to good music and, be able to show off your ambiance, your glamour, your everything that causes you to get out. Y'all, it's been rough out here in these streets. Like it's been hard. And it comes a season when as a couple, we got to come together and just really have fun, enjoy ourselves. And not only that, but we have a panel. We have a guest who you guys are going to get to meet tonight that's going to talk about tips so we can bring our marriages closer together, strengthen our goals as couples. And every year you should have new goals as couples. Sometimes we talk to couples and they don't know the purpose. Like, why are we together? What is the purpose for our love?
Right.
Like, what are we called to do? And sometimes people don't know why we're together. Like, why are we together? And so I think it's easy to break up when you don't have a why.
Right.
You don't know why you're together. Okay, so anyway.
Well, hold up. No, you've been talking. I got something to say too.
Oh, so you go ahead. Okay, B. Okay,
So,
babe.
Sifu, I just said his name, but this guest that is coming on tonight, do you understand that coaches need coaches too?
Yes. Yes.
And this guest that's getting ready to come on has been very close to us. We have learned to love him,
As family.
as
really.
family. And he has came through many occasions, and helped us out. So,
Yes. Which is and the other thing that I love is that, and I love how you said coaches need coaches, right? Because doctors need doctors. Like you've never seen a doctor doing a surgery on himself or
Right.
herself, you know? So it's sometimes you got to do a timeout. And for each level of marriage, I found out it's a new season. It's different when our children, when they were baby in diapers.
Right.
That was that was different trauma, right? Like not getting no sleep at night and having to get up with the baby. Well, I got up. It was me. I was the one that got, yeah, okay. So that was my trauma then. And then, and then as the kids get older, now it's a new set of strategies you have to work out as a couple. So anyway, we're not gonna prolong it any longer. We're gonna go ahead and bring family in.
Well, let's introduce them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we got, I want to call him Doctor. I want to call him Dr. Sifu Karl Romain, right? Because he definitely is an expert
Okay.
in his field. But Sifu is a highly sought after certified master coach whose clients come from all walks of life. He has from business executives to pro athletes, coaches, entrepreneurs, and couples seeking growth in their relationships. He excels at guiding clients through step by step plans and actions to help them define and achieve their goals. Sifu is also a world martial arts champion and Hall of Fame member.
Wow.
Through his entire life's journey, he has accomplished many things, including becoming a published author and speaker. By the way, I have one of his books, and we keep the book in the library. Awesome. We'll circle back around to that one. He also makes many radio and television appearances, such as Oprah and the Dr. Oz Show, Life Choice Radio, of course, Love and Marriage with Harold and Dalonika. I didn't see it on here, but I knew it. I think it's my eyelashes. He is the host of the Overcoming Obstacles podcast. His passion led him to his purpose in helping others live their dreams. So welcome tonight on Love and Marriage with Harold and Dalonika, Sifu Karl Romain.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Evening.
Thank you so much for such a great introduction. I'm excited to be on with you guys.
We are excited to have you again. I mean, really, you're family, right? Like you've been on with us many times, and people who follow us through the years, they've seen you on with us. But for the new people, the new viewers out there, new family members that are watching us, hey, we just wanted to do a proper introduction for you because and actually your bio extends much farther than what I just read. But I just love the fact that you are very consistent with helping people to the next level. Whether it's marriage, whether it's business, that's how we met, is because you came in with an assignment to help me go to the next level, transition from, and people have heard me say this a lot, how you hired a coach for me to go from, corporate government, working for the government to business, entrepreneurship. So Sifu, I don't know if you want to start. I know we're excited about
Go
Sifu
ahead.
going on,
Let's just
coming
go in.
on. But Sifu, let us know, like, where does we're talking about Love and Marriage, the black tie affair that we're having in April. You have a passion for helping couples and pulling couples out of the miry clay, like tough spots, right? You don't have that easy job, right? You got that the rough stuff, like the real deal stuff, not the stuff that we see on television. So you got the police being called out. No, but where does this passion come from to see couples make it?
Yeah. In my own life, I've had my own challenges. And when I looked for help, I didn't find the help that I needed or wanted, or the kind of help I thought I should have gotten. And so when I got into coaching, at first I was just kind of sharing with different people tools and tips that they could just improve their life and their business with. And we started a series called Finding Balance. And every time we came to the relationship portion, everybody's like, oh, you do. I was like, okay. And I just found it to be something that I was really passionate about. And when I saw the transformation that was occurring in people's lives from doing that piece of the workshop, I said, wow, this is really great. And it's really helping couples stay together. I can share that there was a couple that I worked with. For obvious reasons, I will never share somebody's name. But the husband in particular came to me first. And I was working with him, and he had some concerns about the distance between him and his wife. And so we talked about it, and we talked about where he was in the relationship, what his thoughts were in the relationship. And he had some evidence that showed that she had stepped out. And I asked him a very important question. And the question was, do you love your wife? Do you love your wife enough to forgive her? Like if she came to you and actually shared what happened with you, would it be safe? Right? Because for somebody to confess, right? So I have three S's in a relationship. Do you want to know what they are? Do you know what they
what
are?
are they? Give them to us.
Ready? First one is safe. Second one is secure. And third one is significant.
Oh, okay. Safe,
Safety.
secure, and significant.
Right. Safety. I see you about to take notes.
Yes, sir. Hey, you guys, y'all get your pens out too, because Sifu is about to drop something on us. So get your pens and notebooks. Hurry up real quick.
Safety is our ability to be vulnerable in the relationship. To know that I can share anything with you. And no matter what I share, you're not going to judge me. Right? You're going to seek to understand. You're going to seek to be where we're at and encourage me to do better.
That's good.
Okay, so Sifu, this is in conversations where we're dropping bombs on one another. So we have to make each other feel secure when we're dropping a bomb.
Before we even drop a bomb, we have to enter the relationship with these three S's first. And the first one is safety. We didn't even touch security yet. First is, if I feel safe, I can be vulnerable with you. The hardest thing for most people, especially if somebody's been hurt in the past, is how can I get to a place of safety with you? How do I get to a place where I can trust you with feel and feel like you're going to try to understand? Security comes from my ability to trust. Security comes from a place where I know that we're going to disagree. We may even take a time out, but you're not leaving. Like one of the things that you guys did is you stayed committed. You never threatened to leave the relationship, right? We take a time out from talking and regroup and revisit it, but we're not threatening the relationship. You say, I'm leaving, you're leaving, whatever. And significant, right? We call each other our significant other, right? Our significant. That means that person has to be important to you. So how do you feel important? How do you let them know that their thoughts, their feelings, their ideas, their emotions matter? Right? So my three S's: safe, secure, and significant.
Seafood, this is really good because when we talk about coaches, most men really don't want counseling. They don't want no counseling because we, how do I know I can trust you? How do I know that you won't take what I have done and spew it to other people? And that's why it's so vital to have people who we can trust as coaches. And also, we need it more in the church. Would you say?
We not only need it in the church, we need it with our partner. Talk about men and the challenges that men face, and women face it too. But it's the hardest thing for a man to do is be vulnerable. To right and say, listen, I've made mistakes, or I did this, or this is how I'm feeling, or even to cry. Especially, he's carrying a weight of different things, different challenges he's facing on the job. Maybe there's some financial pressure, different things. He's coming to her and saying, hey, I don't want to burden you with this, right? But but I need some place where I can lay my head and just feel like, whew,
Mm-hmm. A safe
burden
place.
off. A safe place. And not that she has to do anything about it.
Mhm.
But if he's fighting the whole world, he doesn't want to come home and have to fight you too.
Wow. Can you say that one more time for the people in the back? Yes.
If he's
Like,
fighting the whole world, he doesn't want to have to come home and fight you too. Right?
yes.
His place of
Yes.
safety, where he can be vulnerable.
Mm,
And when men can find a safe place, they don't mind opening up.
That's right.
that's good.
But don't use that against me because
Mm,
I will shut down.
mm-hmm.
Shut that down. He'll actually grow quiet, right?
Yeah. So most of the time, let's put a pin right there. Like, as women, we think when our man goes quiet that he surrendered. But wait, what I just heard you guys saying is that no, he shuts down because he's done, basically, like at that moment.
At that moment, he needs to stop. He needs to regroup
Mm,
sometimes. So he
uh-huh.
needs to man cave, as we'll call it that.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, you can shut him down if he doesn't feel like you're safe for him.
Yeah.
Think about how guys my age, Harold's age, we grew up a different way, right? We were taught to be strong, to be a certain way, you know,
Mm,
different things that we need to do to be a man, right? And depending on the neighborhood you grew up in as well, you were taught that you had to be hard, right?
yes. Yes.
So we're coming into a relationship with a woman, she's soft, she's gentle, right? And
Mm,
we're trying to pour into her, but yet we need her to be gentle with us back, right? Even though we can be strong and protective and everything else, right?
right. That's good.
So if she shuts us down, it's hard to reopen that door again.
Is there certain words that we can use as women to shut a man down? Like, is there certain common phrases that is common for us
I
that
think when
men are like,
it's, it could be a phrase. I mean, I know most men don't like to hear "we need to talk."
oh my goodness. Okay, I've heard that.
No.
I've heard that.
More than that, whether you're man or woman, whether you're male or female, is validate. Validate the other person's feeling. Take a moment to sit back, listen to what they're saying, and play it back to them. So what I hear you saying is,
Mm,
you're upset about this, this, and this, right? Just take a moment to validate. Doesn't mean that you necessarily agree, right?
okay.
You validate, remove the word but, and insert the word and
Mm,
allow you to share your perspective. So you validate, you say and you share your perspective.
mm.
That's
Oh, that's
good.
good. That's really, really good. So I'm like thinking, as Sifu was saying that, like, just for an example, um, I remember I had got on this kick about I'm like, we can't unpack all the boxes at the same time because we'll go back and we'll be like, well, you left the refrigerator open. Can you shut it next time? And well, you left the closet door open. I didn't say nothing to you, you know. Well, then you took the mop and you just left it out there in the hallway. And it just goes on and on and on. And so it seems like we never get anywhere. So then we had this rule like we're going to open one box at a time. And so then it went from one box at a time where it was just my boxes being open. And so hubby said, wait a minute, I need to talk about my issues too. What's bothering me. And I was like, okay, well, right now we're on my box, So I had to bring balance in that and, validate, okay, well, there is something that hubby got on his mind, that and since we're talking, but how do we frame it so where it's not overflowing where we're nitpicking each other instead of
Right.
bringing resolution.
Right. The other thing I want you to consider is the opposite of the three S's. So what happens when he feels unsafe, insecure, and insignificant?
Mm.
The first thing they do is they raise the bar. When
Oh.
they raise the bar, it sounds something like, well, you didn't do this and you didn't do that. And remember,
Ah.
when you did that 10 years ago, you did this, or you said this to me, right?
Wow.
Yes.
Then he goes into the negative emotions building and arguments and all of these bad feelings.
Mm,
There it goes into distancing. I need to get away from you. I can't talk to you right now. Right. And the more they distance, the more they get away, the more the relationship is breaking.
wow. Wow. So what we think silence is good, oh, he's seen my point of view, is actually not. Very dangerous.
Dream with me. So, Harold, you want to share a little bit more about that?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's been times when, well, you helped us out with this, helped us out in communicating, you know. But when I was able to share with Babe, it made me feel so safe
Mm,
in sharing. And she can agree to that. I talk more. I was communicating more, because of her just listening and trying to understand me. I say this all the time in the barbershop to the guys. I said, isn't it amazing how we as men can communicate and understand each other? But when we get with women, it's like it's a mixed communication. And that is because we don't think the same. We don't communicate the same.
right.
And so we have to take our time to communicate and take it slow
That's good.
and let them know, hey, this is what I'm saying. This is what I mean. And through your tips and your tools that you share with us over the years, it has really helped our relationship.
I agree with that. I agree. And I think it's so difficult for us as women because we really are trained by other women on how to communicate with a man. So I think it's so much easier. I found when I come into contact with a lady who's been raised by her father. I mean, she's a breath of fresh air to speak with because she understands how a man flows, how a man thinks, how a man responds, and she understands how to reason with him where it's not offensive, it's not offending him, and like you said, it's creating that safe place for him. I found women who have been trained by a father or a father figure is she interacts much differently with a man than versus a lady who's been raised and trained by other women on how to communicate.
And also, there's been times when we take long walks
Oh yes.
and Babe will just let me talk. And she's fueling me. She don't even realize she's fueling me just by her listening and agreeing to my thoughts and my feelings. And man, I'll tell you that that went a long way. Has went a long way with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because I
Well,
learned that.
things that one of the things I admire about both of you guys, you're really good at filling each other's cup. One of the things we talk about is how we have to be responsible for our own self care.
Yeah.
And when we're responsible for our self care, we're actually caring about the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
right? We don't come to relationships seeking what we can get. We should come to the relationship talking about what can I give, right? If this bottle is empty, what can I get from it?
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? But if there's something in it, then I can get some nourishment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what did you do today to nourish yourself? Did you spend 30 minutes today taking care of yourself so that when you come home, your wife comes home, you've both been out fighting the dragon. You're not fighting each other, right?
Right.
But you're
Right.
actually ready to say, hey, how can I support you? How can I help you? What can I do for you?
That is the key question right there, Sifu. I think the more we spend time trying to find out how can we help one another, what do you need from me in this season? Now I have to be honest. Like y'all know I be telling my business. Like I gotta be honest, because and I
You're not
tell my
telling my
business
business.
for a reason. I tell my business for a reason because
Yeah.
I really wish someone else would have been a little bit more transparent, and authentic with what's going on behind the doors, the closed doors. Is it just me? And I talk about like episodes of, me taking hubby's computer and throwing it. Well, I don't know if I threw it
She
out.
threw it out
It
out the door.
it fell, it slipped or something. I still don't quite remember. I still be trying to recall what actually happened that day. But so, these are real true stories, right? Like, how do you deal with communication when you never saw communication between a husband and wife? Not appropriate. So, how do you deal with that? So, for me, with hubby, it was just like I sometimes I didn't want to ask him, "What do you need from me?" Because maybe I don't want to give it,
Mm.
and he might be asking a little bit more from me than what like I'm stretched. Like I gotta go to work today. I work not 8 hours and I don't want to cook or I don't want to clean up or I don't want to do this. And there was moments when I didn't really want to ask him, how can I help? What is there anything that I could do? Because it might cost too much at that moment is what it felt like for me.
Sure. Can I
How do you,
just
yeah, yeah, please come on in, Sifu.
right? So the marriage covenant, what does that mean to you? When you
So,
guys got together, you made a covenant
yeah.
with each other, right? What was that?
That we will
What
stay
is it?
together in richer and poorer, in sickness
Mhm.
and in health,
Mhm.
till death do us part.
And then
It was
another
just right. You
You
guys
know,
were in agreement.
yes, what
yes.
we was in agreement. Mhm.
So this is the question: can you honor your agreement?
Mm.
It's not easy, male, female. It's not easy from either side. Both sides have challenges. Just like
Yes.
men don't always feel safe, women don't always feel safe,
Right.
right?
Right.
We both understand that, but we have an agreement. Can we
Mhm.
honor the agreement? And if we don't know what the agreement is, we need to communicate and talk about, well, what are we going to agree to? How are we going to move forward? What does this look like? Let's create a vision together of our future.
Yeah, I
That's
like
good.
that. That is excellent. Yeah. I was it made me think about when Sifu said like what's the agreement and can you honor your agreement? I think one of the things that we realize that's very helpful and I hope someone like that is watching that you really get this because this really helped Harold and I. Like it really helped hubby and I pull it together at times. But talk when you're not upset.
Hmm.
Talk when the atmosphere is peaceful. So a lot of times I find that women rush in and you want to lay down the law or hubby want to rush in and lay down the law when it's tense, when it's people everyone's temperament is not leveled out. One of the things that I found that was very helpful for hubby and I was to sit down and talk and set boundaries about how does Dalonika feel loved and how does Harold feel loved? Like what makes us feel loved when each other do certain things? And sometimes you got to practice this because especially if you like Harold and I, where you didn't come from a therapeutic home where you saw this operating all the time. So,
That's good. And another thing with that, sometimes, when we are in a heated battle,
Conversation. Yeah.
conversation, battle, sometimes we make decisions based upon our feelings, and we should never make a permanent decision based on a temporary situation
oh, that's good.
because it's not going to last. That
That's good.
our feelings, right? We are in our feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And so while we're in our feelings, we need to take a step back
Mm-hmm.
and take a moment to think about what we want to say, what we want to communicate
Yes, sir.
before we just not before I just knock your head off.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Oh,
it happens.
yeah.
We're talking about these tools. And I
Mm-hmm.
never want anybody to be listening to this and think, oh, they make it sound so easy because it's not.
Yes,
No.
yes.
There are four stages to emotional re education. Did you guys know this? I don't know if I've ever shared this with you. there are four stages to emotional re-education. And the first stage is recognizing, it's like an awareness. So I recognize that something needs to change. Whatever, right? Once I recognize that something needs to change, I then need to decide what I'm going to do about it. And when I make that decision, I have to put in time into practice and repetition. Now, when I practice and I repeat, I need to do it both mentally and physically, right? Mentally, because I need to remind myself of my goal, my new behavior, etc. And also, I need to practice visualization, the affirmations, whatever it is that goes with it,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Then I need to physically do the behavior. And this is where people struggle, because sometimes when you go to physically do the behavior, it goes against the grain.
Oh,
Do you guys have a pen there?
I do.
Yeah.
Okay, are you righty or lefty?
I'm a
I'm
righty.
righty.
And I want the people who are at home watching on YouTube, on Facebook, I want you to do this with us. I want you to pick up your pen and put it in the opposite hand you normally write with. So if
Oh,
you're
wow.
right, not
Okay.
paper, but up in the air, I want you to write your full name in script. First name, middle name, and last name. Go. And I want you to notice how that feels.
Oh, my.
Notice, write your name in the air with the wrong hand. First, middle, last. How does it feel? Tell me. Just shout your answers.
It feels odd. It feels very odd.
For me, it
Keep
feels
going.
awkward and off balance.
Awkward,
Like,
odd,
yes, I'm like
Confusing.
everywhere.
confusing. Right. And sometimes people put the pens down and say, I can't do it.
Yeah, I can see why.
That's what people feel when they go to either accomplish something they've never accomplished before or behave in a way they've behaved before. It feels weird, it feels awkward, it feels uncomfortable, and they just give up. Because no one ever teaches us about our emotions, how to manage our emotions, or that we're going to experience this when we try to do something new. And we go through time. It's called cognitive emotive dissonance. And that's what we experience when we're trying to do a new behavior. So when we talk about stage two, you have practice and repetition. But while you're practicing, while you're repeating, it feels weird. It feels awkward. Well, normally in a conversation, I'm a screamer, I'm loud, I'm this. And suddenly you're asking me to be calm and to speak with you in a calm. It's not normal for me, right?
Yes.
Right? Well, the opposite, right? Like you're yelling at me and I want you to be calm, right? Whatever it is, it's going to take some time. And that's where you have to have some grace
Yeah.
for your right? So that they can work these things out. You need to have a level of standing. And again, that's where the agreement comes in,
Yeah.
right? Your question now. 6 months from now, you're still writing with the opposite hand. What do you think happens? How do you think that's going to feel?
You get better.
You get better.
Get comfortable.
That's right. And that's stage three. Stage three, emotional insight, where you start to have some wins. You know, like when you have some wins, how do you feel? Oh, I'm getting the hang of it. I feel pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I can gaining any confidence, right? That's stage three. And stage four is like a year from now, you've been doing it with your left hand, and suddenly it's like a habit. You no longer need to think about it, right? It becomes what we call a personal trait.
That's so good. I love what you're saying, Sifu, because I think you always say this, hubby. You say we got to give each other room to grow. We don't give each other room to grow, and we're quick to walk out on one another because we don't allow that space to say. And I'm not sure, is that a human behavior? You can probably help me out with the psychological part of the way we as humans are wired, but we get on our children. We expect them to get it, got it. I told you one time to do that, and I expect the results. But yet it take us 10 to 15 years to adapt a new method of doing something. But we don't give each other that grace.
Yeah, and I think grace, forgiveness, all of these things are critically important. And sometimes you can't do it in the moment, but you may need some time to do it, and that's okay. But you still stay committed to the relationship. You still stay committed to growing and working together, right? Teamwork
Love
makes the
it.
dream, right?
Yes,
You
sir.
know, the four stages of emotional re-education I learned from a gentleman by the name of Dr. Aldo Pucci, a phenomenal teacher. He teaches CBT, RLT. And it's just a great tool. And when I work with clients and I'm coaching them, it's one of the first things I teach them. Because I started to recognize that when we're coaching people, we're asking them to make a change in their behavior.
Uh-huh.
And it's super difficult. Like, think about somebody who starts a diet or somebody who starts a workout program,
Yeah, I know
right?
what you
They
mean.
want great game, how many people are still going to the gym, right? So it happens, right? But if they don't know what to expect, then, or if they do know what to expect, then they can overcome. So it's like one of the first things to teach people when we get into a coaching agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good. One of the things that one of my mentors would tell me is that if you do what's easy, life will be hard. But if you do what's hard,
Yeah.
life will be easy.
Yeah.
And we can truly say over the 21 years, the 23 years that we have been together,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't walk away.
Yes.
We may have wanted to walk away, but we didn't choose to walk away from each other
Mm-hmm.
because we understood that there was room to grow.
Mm-hmm.
I had to give you room to grow, and you had to give me room to grow. And that's the most amazing thing about marriage is that uh, that you're gonna grow,
Mm-hmm.
and things are gonna be hard, but you can get through it.
Yeah.
You can make it through it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love your was it Life Choice Radio? Life Choice.
Yes.
Because love is a choice.
It
It's
is.
more than emotion, and
Mm-hmm.
you have to choose your partner each and every day, right?
Mm.
You've been through the good, the bad, everything else. You've raised children together. You've been through the hard stuff together, the easy
Yeah.
stuff together. Celebrated together. You've lost together, right? You went through a season of loss.
Mm-hmm.
It's a choice. It's a
Mm.
choice to stay together for the long term, and when you
Yeah.
do that, everybody wins.
Yeah.
Do you want to
I like
share?
that.
You want to share that story
Which one?
where Seafood helped us out?
Which one?
The one, yeah, the
Which
one.
one?
Well,
So, a
Yeah,
season of
no,
loss.
I don't mind. I don't mind. There was a time where I was going through the season of losses. Like I had just several losses back to back, and um, loved ones passing away, and it just didn't stop. It was when I say back to back, I mean like 4 years of losses on every level almost. And I think at one point I just reached a breaking point where I needed to unplug and feed myself, because you can pour out until you're empty, and I had become empty. And I was upset. I just something happened, and with hubby I was like, you know what, maybe we can't do this. Maybe I'm not built for it. I mean, after, I don't know, we probably were married a good, I don't know, it was over a decade by that time, but I came to a breaking point. Sifu stepped in, and I was so thankful that he stepped in, because two things that Sifu asked me that day was, do you not think that Harold is not strong enough, that he can't carry you? And I didn't even think about that. But really, I did feel like I was too much. I felt like it was too much for me. So it had to be too much for my husband. And the second thing Sifu said is that when you get ready to walk out the door, you flush, like all his dreams are flushed down the toilet, because he sees you as a part of the plan, the part of the dream. And so when you say you're out of the marriage, you're done, then that's saying the dreams, all his dreams are done because you were included in the dreams. That stuck on me. Like that sat on me when Seafood said that. I never thought about that before. I don't, we as women, we have dreams too, but I don't know if it's ever came to me the way Seafood worded it, you know. Um, that was a really, uh,
pivotal.
it was a defining
Yes.
moment. It was another defining moment for us. And all it did was make us get stronger. I'm telling you, I don't know who this is for out there that's watching this right now. And you may be going through a very difficult time, like Harold and I was a few years back when we had these losses after losses. And you may think this is going to break us. But if you can just get through it, if you can invite someone in, don't do marriage alone, invite someone in. You may have your own Sifu, or you could call our Sifu, hey, he's available. So, don't do it on your own. Don't do it by yourself, and get someone in that can help you, and let it be a defining moment that is a teachable moment for you too, and not a breakable moment. It doesn't have to break you.
That's good.
And there's something else you said there that I think is very important, and we just need to rewind and really listen to that.
Mm.
You felt like what you were carrying was too much for you.
Yes.
Because it was too much for you, how could anybody else understand? How
Yes.
could he see it, right? And so many times that thought that we have about ourselves that we project onto others is really false, right? And
Right.
just recognizing that, right? Your thoughts impact your feelings and your behaviors. What you think determines how you feel, and how you feel behave. So if that's the thought in my head, what am I manifesting? What am I creating? What am I bringing forth?
That's
It's
good.
like
Right?
one thing I used to say. It's an illusion
Appearing real.
appearing real.
That's right.
Oh,
That's
that's
right.
good.
Yeah.
That is so
So
good.
yeah. So in that thought itself, that thought itself is driving you guys apart.
Mm.
Harold didn't need to do anything during that time.
Right.
You thought that was creating this feeling for you.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling was creating a behavior.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it's so deep. That is so deep what you're saying, because I remember you were asking me some questions, like you was just shooting them, like, where's this coming from, Dalonika? Like, after you was like, this is, y'all been together for years. This is, where's this coming from? And as you were asking me questions, I think I became so aware at that moment of my state of mind, internally what I was going through. It was I needed to unplug, and I'm having a whole conversation by myself. And Harold is like, "Oh my gosh, like where's my wife?" And my wife is gone. But I needed to have that. And I think all of us at certain points, you trying to handle balance your emotions out. Sometimes, during a fight, you can literally get the wind knocked out of you, and you need to go and recuperate. It's hard to fight when the wind is knocked out of you. And for some of you who's out there and you're struggling, you're barely above the water, it's okay to take a time out and unplug and say, hey, I may not have this right at this moment, and invite someone in with a healthy balance, because seafood was for Harold and I, our marriage.
Yes.
He was for the success of our marriage. So I'm not talking about go run to auntie and auntie's just for you and she's not for the marriage. I'm not talking about running to a girlfriend or a guy friend and they're not for the marriage. They're
Right.
not for the unity, the wholeness of what you guys have built.
And it's amazing because we can get into this place where you want to be right and you seeing things wrong. And man,
that's
we've been through that where it was like everything was just wrong, but I'm right. And we had to bring somebody into the relationship. I think I remember where there was a time when it was just bad. And we was like, babe, time out. We need to get somebody.
Yes.
We really need to get somebody because you're not seeing it right. I'm not seeing it right. And man, I'm telling you, when seafood came into our life, he really changed our vision, our focus, and allow us to see how marriage was supposed to be.
Especially during a difficult time. And I think also the other thing, and I'm gonna give it back over to Sifu, but I think also the other thing is that a lot of times you can be not seeing correctly, and you just need someone to step in with a fresh perspective to say, Hey, I understand. Okay, hold on. One of the things that
We
I
got
love.
5 minutes.
Okay, okay.
We got five
Okay.
minutes.
I love about my husband, I love about you, baby, is that he was always willing to get help, right? Like, hubby never told me, uh-uh, I ain't letting nobody in my house, or I ain't letting nobody in my business, No, he's never told me that. He's always like, let's go. Let's call him. Let's get him in, so we can regulate this because we got to keep this strong and solid. There's too many people depending on us. And I appreciate, I'm gonna tell you, hubby. I appreciate about
Thank you.
you, hubby.
And I appreciate you for being willing
Yeah.
to say sorry,
Yeah.
to you know,
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to be wrong.
No,
We don't want to be wrong.
no.
And
It's
with the
important the right person too. Like we had a connection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the connection was between the three of us. It wasn't just one sided, right?
It's
And that
true.
really, right?
Yeah. That's a good point, Sifu. I didn't think about that because one of the things that we did agree on is that we're not going to be coached or counseled by anyone who is attacking one or the other.
yeah, oh yeah. And so when we go into marriage counsels and counseling other marriages, we don't look at the man that's being wrong or the woman that's being wrong.
And attack one.
No, 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 no. We try to look at it from both sides and try
Mm-hmm.
to bring resolution
Mm-hmm.
that will help them both
Yes.
and not attack. Because we have
Same
seen
stuff.
we have seen it where
Yeah.
they start attacking each other, and we're like, oh, hold up, no, 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 no,
Mm-hmm.
no, no. Take a look at yourself. Take a
Yeah.
look at yourself. Back up, look in the mirror, and take a look at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of hard to do that because you want to be right.
Yeah. And I think that was good that how you stepped in, Seafood, because
Yeah.
you never said, you never attacked one or the other. You always pointed it back to each other to take responsibility. And I don't know how you feel about that, Seafood. You've counseled so many people and coached so many couples, but is it more difficult to coach a couple who don't want to take responsibility for their wrong? How do you navigate through that?
Coach anybody who doesn't want to be coached,
Yeah.
right? I mean, people have to come into the people have to be willing to be coached. They have to want to be coached. I don't have people come to me for coaching who I don't see as whole and complete. I'm not here to fix you.
Mm. Oh, that's good.
My role is to provide questions and tools to help you look at things from a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Answers are within you, right? I'm just trying fixing anything.
Oh,
You
that's
follow,
good.
right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things, I don't have a whole lot of time, but I do want to share this part about the four levels of intimacy, because this is one of the things that as a couple you can grade yourself on, right? You can say on a scale of 1 to 10, how are we doing in this area? And I think you need all four of these pillars to really make it work, right? And so obviously the first one is intellectual intimacy. A lot of times we talk about intimacy, people think, it's just about the sex and it's just about the physical. But intellectual is very important. Can we exchange ideas? How are we doing with that? How are we creating conversation? And are we talking about people? Or are we talking about ideas? Because there's a difference, right? Then you have emotional intimacy, right? And we talked about vulnerability and being close and being able to share, right? And that in itself is a sacred space, right? So that's again when you're talking about inviting somebody in a relationship, you gotta be careful who you invite, because
Oh, that's good.
that sacred space between you always needs to be respected, right? The third one is physical intimacy, obviously, and for physical intimacy to really work, you need the intellectual, right? Because we know that sex doesn't happen in a woman's mind. In her body. It happens in her mind first, right?
Yeah.
Men are different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We need that intellectual. Then we need the emotional component as well, right? For the physical to work. And there has to be a level of communication between the two of you, because that's how you get to the core of intimacy, physical intimacy, right? And then you have spiritual intimacy, right? When are you most transparent? When you pray to God. Think about it, right? We go before God. What do? We pray about our hopes, our dreams, our wants, our desire, right? So, what is the spiritual aspect of your life like, and how are you guys connecting on that level?
That's good. That's good.
Oh, that is really, really good.
So what is it? Physical?
Yes, intellectual intimacy, and then physical and spiritual. Oh, that is
Intellectual,
so.
intellectual, emotional,
Oh, did
physical,
I
and
miss the emotional?
Oh, that's good.
That is really, really good because as Sifu was talking, I was thinking about us, like just the even the spiritual part. Like we really are very aware that it wouldn't be a Harold and Dalonika without our relationship with God. Period. It's because there are times that we both have been in our own personal time and felt convicted about how we handle one another and was able to humble ourselves and come back so many times. That has happened with us.
So, hey, listen. On April the 5th, 2024, the Love and Marriage Black Tie Affair will be going down at 7:30 p.m. at the Rap House. And we have our special guest who is online right now giving us nuggets that we can use, tools we can use in our marriage. He will be there on April the 5th. Thank you so much, Sifu, for sharing your thoughts and your tools that you have to help marriages out. We love you for that. And also, can you tell our viewers how they can get in contact with you, and yeah, and give them all that.
sure. I mean, I have a process that I've been refining and using. It's called the Triangle Method: healing the past, focusing on the present, and creating a compelling future. I'll be doing a 3-day love renewal challenge. You can find it in my Facebook group, so you can sign up there. And the Facebook group is called From Blah to Bliss. So take a look at it. You'll see my face there. It's March 6th through the 8th. We'll be covering, healing the past, focusing on the present, and creating a compelling future. So that's one of the best places to find me right now.
Oh, good. We thank you. We thank you, Sifu, for gracing us with your presence.
Yeah.
We are
Thank you.
very
Yeah,
appreciative. Yes, sir. Hey, so that's it for tonight.
Yes, I hate that we have to end so fast. We might have to do a part two.
Oh yeah.
We may have to do a part two, but
Mm.
Sifu, this was so good. Thank you so much for coming on tonight and just sharing. And I'm going to be posting in the link so you guys come back in and catch some of the links and so that you can be in contact with Sifu because we would love for you to sign up for his programs. We definitely want to make sure you have access to his website and his contact information. But we love you.
All right. Hey, we love you.
And
And
have me. Thank you.
yes,
You're
we love
welcome.
you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Till next time, peace.
You just experienced the Love and Marriage broadcast with Harold and Dalonika. They hope you took notes and have some aha moments and are ready for some more. You can join them on Facebook with Love and Marriage Talks on Facebook.com/Love and Marriage for Purpose or live on YouTube at Love and Marriage with Harold and Dalonika. Tell Harold and Dalonika your love story. They listen to every pitch, and you may be chosen to come on as a guest. Send your story to loveandmarriageradio@gmail.com. Don't forget to tell Harold and Dalonika who you are and where you're located. Their show is shown all around the world. Thanks for tuning in to Love and Marriage Broadcast.